What's up guys, God's Elite back with another video. In this video we're going to be talking about something that didn't occur to me at all until today while I was at work. So this may not be that big of a deal to some of you at all. Some of you it might. I think the future applications for this are what really kind of gets me. Especially, you know, if you look back at microtransactions, they have gotten worse as time has gone on. Even more so that now Shadow of War coming out as a single player game, and it is going to have microtransactions in it, and it doesn't even have multiple people. So it kind of makes me worry that this is also going to happen to us over time in a much worse way. So I have played many betas in my life, many games, but never have I noticed that the company the game that I'm playing charges me to play the beta. Now this is not going to be a staggering number by any means at all, but today I was actually pre-ordering the deluxe edition of Destiny 2 for my Xbox, as well as pre-ordering the game for the PC so I could get my beta code, and I also pre-ordered Call of Duty World War II on the PlayStation so I could also get my beta code for that as well. After I went through the transaction and everything, a buddy that checked me out, he said, "Did you notice you got charged for the beta?" I said, "No, I didn't see that. Let me look at it again." And so I looked at the Call of Duty beta, and it was no charge for that. But I looked at the Destiny 2 beta, and there was a charge for it. And so it's only 1 cent, right? So you might be like, "Oh, God's Elite, come on, it's 1 cent. That's not so big of a deal." But I want you to think about this. So supposedly around 8 million players played in the console beta. We don't know how many people are going to play on PC, whether this is going to be a small crowd or whether it's going to be a huge crowd. I imagine it's going to be big, but 1 cent times 8 million is $80,000. Now that may not be a lot when it comes to Bungie or Activision's revenue per year, but what scares me is what it means for the future. Now I know that this is not, I don't think this is on Activision's end, because I looked back at the receipt, and for Call of Duty I was not charged anything for the beta, and I've got pictures for all this stuff, and I even went back and acted like I was going to buy the game on Xbox again, and it came up for the Xbox beta as 1 cent as well. So here's what I want you to notice from this. I said I went back and pre-ordered Destiny on Xbox, and when I pre-ordered the game on Xbox, it said that the beta still cost me 1 cent to purchase, right? So that's kind of the big thing for this, is that if you go pre-order a game right now that you don't have access to the actual beta, you still have to pay for it. So does that mean if someone a year from now buys Destiny 2, they have to pay 1 cent for the game? Over time, if they sell 10 million copies, you know, 15 million copies, something like that, they're going to be paying 1 cent for a beta they never even got to be a part of. So it's kind of like this ghost price that you don't really look at because it's 1 cent. But what if they do that in the future? You multiply all this stuff out, it can end up being a lot of money over time if you're being charged for something that is already gone and you can't be a part of anymore. So that's one of the really big things that kind of struck me, was that they're still charging you for the beta after the beta is over. So it's all there, and I'm actually anxious to see how many play in the PC beta. So what kind of scares me is, if you look at what's happened with microtransactions, they've slowly moved their way into games, and just, you can sink a lot of money into a game because of microtransactions. And if you look at this 1 cent thing, well, what if next year they move it up to 5 cents, right? Not that big of a deal, it's just 5 cents, right? That'll move up the revenue to $400,000. And say a year later from then, I mean, who cares, right? 10 cents. Let's charge 10 cents for our betas, right? That's 800K if you have 8 million players play, right? So this is all based off the console beta numbers. And you know what? 10 cents works. Maybe the next year they do 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. Say you finally get to $1, right? $1 is not even that big of a deal. In my opinion, it's just $1, right? 8 million people play, $8 million in revenue, right? So it may not be anything right now, but 10 years down the road, what does this mean for us as gamers? Games have been 60 bucks for a long time now, and I think the reason they've stayed that way is because you pay a lot more in season passes and downloadable content and expansions and everything else. And I'm wondering if paying for betas like this is going to be something that starts being more prevalent in the future. Let me know if you've ever noticed if you've paid for a beta in the past. I cannot for the life of me remember paying for a beta like this at all, especially that small amount. I don't know, it's just something to look at. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think it's just kind of funny to see 1 cent and just, maybe where it could go in the future. I hope it goes nowhere. I hope it stays 1 cent. But I hope that you can understand my point of view on it, and I'd love to hear your point of view, so let me know in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.